Welcome to Real People. I'm Stephanie Allensworth. My guest today is a returning guest, the wonderful astrologer Rockets Redglare. Welcome, Rockets. So let's talk all about the solar eclipse.
Hello, Stephanie, and thank you for having me. Wow, this eclipse is really something because if we look at different criteria for eclipses as astrologers, this particular one, the shadow path, crossed the land. It was a total eclipse, and the shadow path crossed the land across a number of states, and that rarely happens. In fact, the last time it happened was in 2017, which wasn't that long ago. But previous to 2017 was 1918, that a shadow path crossed the whole land. And of course, 1918 is a year that many people know that there were some big changes going on at the end of the World War I, and it was known as the flu epidemic. And it turns out that
the Spanish flu? Or which
yeah,
flu?
they called it the Spanish flu,
Okay.
right, yeah, the flu epidemic, 1918. And it turns out that about as many people died from that flu epidemic as did in World Wars I and II combined.
Wow.
Now, that's not counting, all the people in Russia and other countries, where millions of people died of, different problems. But yeah, a lot of people died in 1918. Now, that does not mean that that's going to happen at all with this eclipse. It's completely different. But it's a very, very interesting eclipse in Aries on April 8th. I hope some people got a chance to get out and see it. And getting to the path of totality is phenomenal. It's a life experience you'll never forget. And like I said, it's rare. So the next one is in the 2040s.
Oh, wow.
Here across the land, the United States of America, where people can go to the path of totality.
Right.
And the path of totality is an astounding experience.
And you did this.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I went with my daughter and a couple of people down to Shawnee National Forest, and we happened to be right where the X of the 2017 eclipse crossed with this one of April 8, 2024. We were right in that X where they crossed, which clearly was just beyond my expectation or understanding in terms of a powerful place to be.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
Yeah, so describe the energy to us and what you felt while you were there.
Yes. Well, it's interesting because I've talked to several people who have traveled to see this eclipse and be in path of totality. And the ones that made it to a beautiful nature area noticed that there was just a magical feel as they began to approach the place where they were going. We really noticed that because we went to Carbondale first, Carbondale, Illinois, and there are massive people in the shadow path, all the restaurants had closed like the day before. No place to stay, no place to camp. Lodging had been booked years in advance.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That surprises me. Okay.
Oh, yes.
But then if you're in the middle of that, aren't you kind of in the middle of like the mud of everybody's energies?
Oh, yes, and they were having a festival there, and it's a college town,
Yeah.
They were having fun with it, but we did not want to be there with the energies going on. There was loud protesting going on and emergency vehicles. It was just chaotic, really was.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a positive
Right,
experience.
and so we wanted to be in nature,
Right.
and we had prayed all together to end up in the right place. We had no clue where that would be. It turns out 20 miles south of Carbondale, 2025, there's the Shawnee National Forest.
Wow.
And there's a little free campground with 2 sites.
Wow.
And we got site number 2. So we were totally blessed. But as we were driving into this beautiful area, into the Shawnee Forest, it just became magical. And that's one of the qualities of this eclipse it was conjunct Chiron. That means it was at the same degree in the sky as Chiron, which is very, very special. Chiron is not a planet per se in the solar system, but I happen to specialize in studying Chiron. It's one of my favorite, endeavors is to study Chiron. And what Chiron signifies is the balance and the harmony of the animal, human, and divine. And Chiron, the glyph for it looks like a key. And Chiron is such a key for humanity. And after studying it, I started doing charts when I was 16 years old. I learned the math and did the charts by hand.
Oh,
the
wow.
calculations, we didn't have programs at the time. To me, Chiron is so meaningful for humanity, especially at this time on the planet. And from my studies, I've come to really personally believe that we're here to balance, integrate, unite, in mutual respect and harmony, the animal, the human, the divine. And as we do that within ourselves, then life reflects back to us the paradise of this earth that we've been blessed to inhabit. If we've just stopped warring against nature, thinking we have a better idea. And I've really been reflecting because a lot of Chiron themes are coming up for people with this eclipse and will be all year because it's activated all year. The effects of this eclipse will play out for 2 years, maybe not in a big way that a lot of people can see and connect with the eclipse. But this is very powerful one, and it'll be particularly strong till the next solar eclipse on October 2nd, you see. We're in a very, eclipses occur every 6 months, and they're a natural polar switching that goes on in creation with the eclipses, the light and the dark. The sun is the masculine, it's the consciousness, it's the active principle, and then the moon, she comes together with the sun. They come conjunct at the same degree, and then a seed is planted of some new shift, some new beginning. And the moon carries that forward, and she gives it form. So for instance, our next full moon is going to be supercharged from this eclipse. That's on the 23rd of April. Very powerful.
What's the name
full
of this
moon.
one? What's the name of this one coming up?
It's at 5 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. It is square to Pluto. And so there will be some crisis and some stress of releasing and closing an old chapter of evolution on this planet that we've been working on, that we started in earnest in 2020 with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. You see, we are in a turn of the age, and that's marked by a number of the outer planets coming together in conjunctions, and they each start a new cycle of however many years in their particular relationship. So the turn of the age here on Earth for all of us really started in 2020. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction.
Is there a particular astrological sign that'll be more impacted by this eclipse and the times to come, or is it for everybody? It's like a blanket issue, or not issue, but maybe a blanket blessing.
Well, because the sun and moon are so vital as basic elements of life, it's for everybody. Now, this eclipse was in Aries at 19 degrees of Aries, and conjunct Chiron to the degree, just a few minutes off from being exactly conjunct Chiron. And so I'm already seeing people becoming more aware. It's very awakening. This is a year of a number of things. This is quite a year of awakening because of this eclipse at Chiron. Also, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on April 20 is very significant for the whole planet at this time.
What does that energy feel like? Like if somebody's not sure, like they've never really checked into their feelings when these things are happening, what can we tell them? What can we have them expect? Is there chills or tired or energized? I mean, is there anything that people can say, oh my gosh, it must be the planetary alignment that I'm feeling? You know what I mean?
Yes. I have a page. Sorry.
It'll pick it up.
I have a page on my website that people can read about eclipses and, the amplified dreaming, the conscious mind, and then the subconscious sun and moon. There's a lot of shifting goes on with that.
I have the amplified dreaming.
Oh, Oh, yes,
right now,
yes,
big
yes.
time.
And during this eclipse, whether people were in the path of totality or not, I heard from so many people that they felt this one so much. It was just, the impact was very energetically evident to many people. Now, being conjunct Chiron, Chiron is our relationship with our animals. And so our pets, the animals that we love and relate with, that's really lit. And we're called forward via our relationships with the animals. And remember, they're reflecting back to us our own inner animal, and that's our deep instincts, our spirit and soul senses. And I have noticed people are starting to regain their spirit and soul senses from this eclipse. People are saying, wow, I felt things I never felt before that are subtle, subtle energies. And wow, they're almost like children waking up to a new day because they're not accustomed to those natural senses being so engaged.
Oh, I think that's awesome.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I've been trying to talk my husband into getting this new kitty that our pet hospital rescued. Is because she's become what do you call her? A clinic cat. So she's just hanging around waiting for someone to take her home and give her a forever home. And I'm like, well, let's see what little Clover will do with hers, because that's so I'm kind of like. It just struck me one day. My cat was acting really funny, and I'm like, I think she needs a companion because George passed.
Yes.
So, and I don't know. I feel like she's been just trying to tell me that.
Yeah. So more awareness in our relationships with them, and with our own inner instincts, our own indigenous self. Everybody has that. And if we're in tune with that and we engage that well, our indigenous senses, then it keeps us on our path of soul power. And then life is less complicated and it's just clearer, and we're healthier and happier naturally.
Yeah, I love that. So when we first talked about this and doing a show on this, you said it's going to be like for years to come. So is it going to be like a super long period, or is this like we're having the polar shift and like this is like the mega moment, shall we say?
Well, this year
the one we've been waiting for.
This year is rather noteworthy, 2024 on the planet. Not only do we have a number of outer planets shifting signs, the fact that Pluto's finishing up in Capricorn, which is closing that old chapter of some of the darkest shadow on the planet via humanity. There's nothing negative about the energies of any of the heavenly bodies. It's just how humanity is able to express those energies.
Right. We don't all do it the same.
So we're closing a great old chapter going back centuries. Okay, and so everybody in their life has been dealing with some of that shadow. Some of the most negative, bullying, unethical, power mongering. The dark of Capricorn, the nth degree, and this is our last year of wrestling with that. And then Pluto goes into Aquarius to stay in 2025, and Pluto changes signs like every 50 years. That doesn't happen very often. Uranus is also heading toward Gemini. Jupiter will go into Gemini this year. So some of the outer planets are making these big shifts, and they're right in between right now. They're right at the end of several signs, making that shift this year. And so all through 2024, there's this feeling of almost like, are we there? Are we almost there?
Yeah, right.
And it's just kind of,
so
it doesn't really quite settle there yet.
I'm thinking about the song, The Dawn of Aquarius. Now, is that what that means? Are we moving into Aquarius now?
That's a question that astrologers get a lot. And that song was really just a song of the time. There was no astrological truth to it whatsoever. The moon is in the seventh house, every day. But that song really expressed human ideals of living together, in the bigger picture of humanity and synergy and love and care and peace. That's what we all would like.
So we were in Pisces, though, right? And aren't we moving?
Well, the thing is, Stephanie, there's a 2,000-year margin of error with that. And so, you know,
So
I looked at
just
it, I
throw that
studied
away,
it.
right?
It depends on which culture you're measuring that from, because it varies with different cultures. You have, you know, East Indian, you have Chinese, etc.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you know.
So
you
that's
could,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could look around and see all the technologies that people are immersed in and have on their beings and such, and say, well, that looks like Aquarius to me.
Huh.
You know.
Okay. I'm surprised by that. But it's like, okay, so that was some hooey, all right.
Well, it wasn't, you know, it was, you know, it was,
It was a song.
aspirations
Yeah.
of the time. Right.
Yeah, you know, the back then, what was it, 70 something,
Right.
you know, so it was
Right.
the dawning of the era of love, I guess,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
Well, they,
And Jupiter aligns with Mars, you know, every year, so every 2 years at least. Yeah, so
Well,
so that's,
okay.
you know, so that's
I don't
that.
even remember all
we're
those
in a great
words.
shift. So the age I'm talking about isn't that particularly, that is defined by the precession of the equinoxes and the vernal point.
Okay.
So no, I'm talking about, I like to think in terms of the Barbault index of planetary contraction, revolution, and war, which shows that whenever we have outer planets coming together in conjunctions, in a great number of them, we turn an age, you know. So those ages, they vary in terms of how long they are. The precession of the equinoxes and the vernal point, that's a huge age. It's a different frame of reference.
wow, okay.
Well, then I also want to mention with the end of Capricorn, not only is it the deepest, darkest powers on this earth being broken and losing their viability, and we see some desperation with that now. It also brings forward the best in us. You know, Capricorn is our spine. You know, engaging our spine. It's our commitments in life. It's our ethics. You know, natural law. You know, we're being called more and more to commit to what we value, what we want to create, rather than just, you know, riding the life stream down the path of least resistance, which will not work so well as we turn this age.
Oh, wow.
You know, we're meant to engage and do our part.
Well, that is very interesting. And we might need to have like a crib sheet for people that are watching this so they can figure out what you're talking about. Because some of it's like flying over my head, too.
I apologize.
No, that's okay. I mean, because it's your
Yeah.
business and that's what you do.
Well, I do want to mention that this is a North Node solar eclipse, and that is the more positive eclipse, because we have a positive and then we have a South Node. They fluctuate. So the next one in September, October, well, lunar is in September and the solar is October 2nd, is a South Node eclipse, Aries Libra. So the eclipses have been working with us for a couple of years to free up in relationships. You know, and so the last set of eclipses, October of 2023, was really about clearing the decks, clearing the way. What doesn't work in relationships? What do we need to update about ourselves? Are we relating in mutual respect and honor with each other? And that's clearing the way for this eclipse, which is calling us forward into better quality life, you see. Yeah, so this is a very truly progressive eclipse, calling everybody forward into better quality life.
Well, I hope everybody's paying attention. But it's natural, right? I mean, it's like a natural energy that you don't even have to be checked in, you know, to astrology to feel it. Maybe.
Well, that's true, Stephanie. And Aries, you know, is our I am. It's our deepest, truest sense of self and the ability to take action and do. You know, to step up and do what needs to be done. This is what's being clarified. This is the opportunity we're being offered, is to deepen in our own being so that when we take action, it's more effective and more potent. You know, I think we might agree there's a lot of impotence going on, and wounded male energy and such. And this is an opportunity for people to go deeper into their I am so that we can live in mastery. You know, we're not here to live under the thumb of human ignorance. We're here to become creative masters of our own lives.
Wow, that's very awesome. And, as an Aries,
Yes.
I don't really recall what you told me that meant for me specifically, because my birthday was the day before.
The day before, right.
I definitely felt the energy.
Well, I knew you would. I just told you this will be huge for you, Stephanie, because we didn't have time to sit down and look at
Yeah,
it. But it's a bang-up year for you, for sure.
And I'm putting my best foot forward.
Yes,
I have
yes.
been.
Oh, you'll be richly blessed.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I'm already blessed, but that's part of why I, rebooted the show and
Yes.
trying to bring out the positive energy, trying to bring out some healing,
Yes.
which is what we're focusing on in this, not just this show, but this whole season.
Which is Chiron.
Yeah.
Chiron is the healer. Yes.
Well, isn't that organic?
Well, and that's why every time I talk to people, I'm calling the healers forward. Because everybody has gifts of spirit. Everybody has healing gifts. And we tend to hide it away from the world and keep safe because it's our most precious self. You know? But Chiron, Eclipse on Chiron, is calling every one of us forward because I personally believe that we're designed to help each other heal via love and human care and heart-centered presence.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are talking more about love and helping people and healing.
Yes.
And it was almost vacant for the last decade.
True.
And
a lot of people are leaving where the heart has gone out of it. If they've been working in caring for people and the heart has gone out of the institution, they can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And so this is where the light wants to come into the planet now and to refresh not only us, but our country.
Yeah, and the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just our country, it's the world.
Right, but particularly the United States, because the United States has its Chiron return on April 20, along with that Jupiter and Uranus conjunction, along with Comet Pons-Brooks, all this on the same day, April 20. The comet gives more light, more energy, more activation. So this is actually huge for the United States of America besides each one of us.
What time of day is that supposed to happen here in Minnesota, do you know?
Well, it's various times. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is in the evening, as I recall.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So there's no one time you can just go out there and stand and go like, la.
The whole day. Just mark, just be aware the whole day and do what feels right to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jupiter-Uranus
But
conjunction.
be outside and let it come.
Yes.
Stand in the grass.
And USA
ground.
Chiron return has 3 Chiron returns this year, next year. That's USA. That happens every 50 years. But that refreshes true health care, heart-centered, loving health care.
Wow.
And I don't
We
want
could
people to
use
feel
that.
discouraged. A lot of people are afraid of going to rack up expensive medical bills and things like that. And I just encourage everybody, you're loved by life. Life wants to give you everything you need through the hearts and the hands and the love of everything around you. So, people should never be discouraged. Just keep the heart open, keep the mind open, and your love and your care will come to you through just the right avenues.
That's beautiful. Aw. Put that on a greeting card. That's gorgeous.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth, yes.
Well, yeah, and the truth is beautiful,
It is. And this is a year for truth to come forward in some really
Truth.
wonderful ways.
So we got truth, healing, heart-centeredness.
Refreshment, humor. Humor
humor's
will be
coming back.
returning more with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And then especially working and living in harmony with the earth. That Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is in Taurus, so growing things, getting together with the community. This is going to do very well, and it's what we need.
Yeah.
It's what we need.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the message would be just block out all of the noise right now because there's still some noise going on. But I feel like that noise is getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and falling to the wayside where we as a collective are coming together and doing
Real people. The real people, that's what refreshes life.
Yeah.
Yes, the noise isn't, it's done, it's done.
Yeah, it's dying a slow death. But
Yes,
and
yeah.
it's Not going gently.
No, and we have a power struggle at the end of the year from October all the way through April, and that is the Mars-Pluto opposition 3 times.
Oh, geez. I was hoping we were done with all that, but no.
Not quite. This is the end. This is the end power struggle of the turn of this particular age, according to the the measures that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel with that
indeed.
department as well, because I
Yes,
think we do need, in my opinion anyway, like a complete redo, refresh. Just we need a better way because
Yes.
what's going on isn't working.
Yeah, the
for
old
anybody.
system is dying. We know that.
Yeah.
And
And thank goodness
Thank
it's
goodness
dying.
it's got to go.
Yeah.
Right. And
Hey, we just kept hurrying it around a little bit. Come on, let's go, let's go.
But then again, I trust the divine order with that,
Yeah.
because we need that grace, for
Yeah.
people to make the shifts and adjustments.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. Yeah. You can't really hurry it. It's God's plan, right? So you have to let it play out the way God wants it to.
Yes, in divine
Yeah.
order, yes. Bigger picture, divine order.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we still have some time, a couple of minutes left. So
Okay.
let's go a little deeper. Which part of this do you think people would get for the lay people, what part do you think they need to hear the most of this change and this dynamic shift?
Oh, well,
That's a tough one, huh?
no, not really.
No? Okay.
We already touched on it. To me, the most important thing
But
is
let's frame it up.
integrating animal, human, and divine. Humans have largely forgotten on this earth how much we've relied on the animals to bring us to where we are today. I mean, if you just think about it, from mules hauling things to horses drawing carriages, to keeping us warm in winter, and I think it's important that we honor that and that we really reel ourselves in any ways that our society is not mutually respecting the animals that we need to live or that we love as friends and companions and guides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in love with animals.
I do.
I just,
Yes.
my little squirrel buddies, everybody,
Yes, yes,
the birds. And,
Yes,
it's just such a beautiful time of year right now, especially with this beautiful rain that we're getting.
Yes.
Because you can the rain is like silencing all of the noise from the highway and not even so many airplanes right now. And I can hear the birds, and that is just so refreshing because usually they get mixed up with the trucks on the highway or the airplanes going by and the kids in the
Yes.
street playing, which I adore as well. Our community is getting turning over to new families again, so that's fun to see.
Yes.
Watching them grow,
Yes, Stephanie, and I trust the birds and all of the natural creatures are touching people's hearts in special ways with this eclipse. You might hear a little more beauty or be inspired for a little more tenderness and respecting all of our relations.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the animals are so much smarter than we are. Boy, that went fast. Oh my gosh, we're counting down. I just looked and I'm like, oh, well, let's have you tell how people can get a hold of you, Rockets.
Oh,
I just
okay.
got tongue-tied.
Mercury is retrograde. Well, my website is hunavaruna.net, HUNAVARUNA.net.
Okay.
So they can get a hold of me there.
Yeah, and you're open for like full chart reading and
Oh, I do chart reading,
and some healing. You do
transformational
healings?
body work.
And you have the EES system, so you've got like your own little healing center in your house. So that's beautiful.
Yes, it's very nice, yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here again, my
My
love.
pleasure. So good to see you,
I absolutely
Stephanie.
adore you, and I adore talking to you.
I love
I'm
you
going to
too.
sign us out. Thank you for
Okay.
being here with us
Yes,
today, and
thank
thank you
you.
to Rockets for being here and sharing all that great information. We'll see you next time. Thanks. We'll see you. Keeping it real.
Love and blessings.
That